Another unpopular opinion. I'm going to give you a chance to air here. You and I were talking about Jasmine Crockett, who just cracks me up. I just think, I think she's infinitely entertaining. I get that people like her. It's not going to go well, but you say she's playing a character.
Well, I was told that she's playing a character, and
if you
then
can find evidence, Daphne.
And then I was told that that's not who she is.
Right.
And then they went and found footage of her. But there's a kind of a question. It's the Theo Von question. When I met Theo Von, he was a preppy with closely groomed hair and an Izod shirt, and didn't look or sound like he sounds like now. And then, so I go, oh, that's not the Theo Von I met when I was doing Howie Mandel's show a million years ago. And then people can flip the script again. They can go, well, maybe this was him.
Right.
And then he cleaned it up for Howie Mandel, and now he's back to who he is.
Yes.
Can't argue with that.
Yes.
I'm not a big fan of that logic, but you can't say it's not what it was. So you can go, Jasmine Crockett was this person, then she cleaned it up for corporate America, and now she's reverting back to who she was. So it's the same Theo Von argument. Is he that guy? Was he that guy? Is he just getting in touch with his roots, sort of thing? And then you go, I don't know.
I would argue, though, it's a pretty easy putt to go from Theo Von to put on an Izod shirt and get your hair cut differently, versus going from Jasmine Crockett to Mrs. Howell, as you described it on the Gilligan's Island. It becomes lovey with a pinky out at the teacup.
Listen, there's something, black people are leaning into being black. That's why they're mispronouncing and pluralizing monies and stuff. They're just talking in this way it seems deliberate now. You know what I mean? So they're sort of leaning in to being black, which I don't get it, because if we are living in a society that's systemically racist and we discriminate against blacks, and why would you lean into that? You know what I mean?
We're
not. She doesn't believe it. What people that were half black and half white wouldn't say they were black if we lived in a society that discriminated against black people, but you wouldn't do it if you're half Jewish. And then half non-Jewish if you're living in a place that was rounding up Jews or being systemically racist against Jews. You wouldn't say that. Nobody would say any of it. You wouldn't claim to be Elizabeth Warren wouldn't claim to be Indian if we were mistreating Indians. Why would you claim to be a group that is being mistreated? Look, there was a time when gays were discriminated against and mistreated in this country. Guess what?
They hid it.
They stayed in the closet.
Yeah, they hid
it. They did not want to be fired or ridiculed or worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they hid it.
Yeah.
But that's what you do when you're actually being mistreated.
It's interesting. I watched the Paul Rubens documentary over the weekend, and he was out and then back in the closet and then out. And the stuff he had to put up with is really, you forget that even our generation still had to deal with some pretty heavy, stupid shit. I'm laughing, but it's tragic.
Yeah, but was it because he was doing kids stuff?
Yes, it's because he was doing kids programming. That a gay man doing kids programming, he must be a pedophile. It's like, okay.
Yeah, well, the problem with the gay and then the kids and the thing is, I think the way they looked at it and still do is they kind of go, well, you're already sort of suspect sexually, so what else might you do? I think that's kind of what they don't say it.
It's a fantasy, yeah. It's a weird fantasy they have.
Who?
Those people that are suspect of others. It's in their head.
Well, they're not. Well, I don't know if it's a fantasy. Well, maybe not a fantasy traditionally, as you would describe a fantasy. But what they do is they go, you're doing something different sexually.
Right.
But I would kind of argue that they would do it with a polygamist or anybody who's doing something different sexually.
I think it's, to be fair to people that think that way, it's kind of a natural human thing. I mean, think about how people deal with somebody who lied. Now you're lying about everything. I can't trust you about anything. That's just sort of how humans work. They
would go, if you said to me, this guy's a polygamist.
Yeah.
I'd go, oh, okay. You want him babysitting your kid? I'd go, no. I go, why not?
Yeah.
Well, he's not a pedophile. I go, probably, but
Probably.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's doing this,
Yeah.
and I think that's how we sort of did that with gay.
We
Right,
used to.
doing something different.
Yeah.
It was still a little bit like
Yeah.
you're deviating, and all this stuff is deviation
Does
stuff.
it feel like? I don't think it feels like deviation anymore.
Not really. It's
It's really not for like your kids' age. They
No, I don't think they would think that gay is a deviation.
No.
We look, well, but I mean, to be fair, anything that's less than 10% of the populace is a deviation.
right in a technical sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had.
But
I
it
was
was
in
so
junior
blue
high.
eyes.
We had like one Indian kid, and it was like, "What's up with Ayaz Sheikh?" You know what I mean? Like people were like, I don't know, but it'd be like, seems like a deviation. It's different. Something's
yeah,
different here.
I mean, you're pointing out something unsavory about the human.
Well, it's not really unsavory. We're there to notice. We're there to notice different. If somebody walks a certain way or speaks a certain way, we're like, what's different? Because we're constantly trying to assess some sort of danger, and different can be danger, to us.
Or infectious. That's where the uncanny valley comes in. There could be something, it's gross, infectious.
Infectious, yeah. Something. Who is this person?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
okay.
do they mean me harm? Such a weird.
Yeah. All right. We have a clip. We have a Jasmine clip.
Oh.
We have an old version, a new version. But yeah, the question is, well, look, she's leaning into this.
I love
thing.
to see this.
Okay.
Let's listen to how Jasmine Crockett used to sound.
No one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress. It's just not what my plan was.
What a nice girl, but marvel here at the accent switch, or code switch. as
Sky
the kids
TV,
call
it's
it.
weird.
The trans kids that want to play the sports. Lord have mercy, that is the biggest issue that we had. Since when? Since when? Find the little trans child that is ruining your life. Like, I mean, I'm just like...
Talk about
But you know what? I get, like, look, Kamala Harris did, Hillary Clinton did this, right? They all do it.
All
She's just good. Man, Jasmine Crockett's just good at it. She's got perfected
I
it.
mean, all the bad people do it. Kennedy never does it. He just talks.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the people just have ideas, just talk. Jordan Peterson just talks.
Right.
They don't do that shit. It's a crutch. It's also kind of condescending. It's real condescending
Must
to whoever
work,
you're
though.
speaking
Must
to.
work. It must work.
It works on dumb people.
Well.
It doesn't. It annoys smart people, or they see through it. But it works on dumb people. But there's more dumb people. But I would assume, I don't know. At some point, I feel like the black populace will probably hit their saturation point. I don't know about the black women, but black men are starting to do that. Just going, these fucking idiots aren't going to help us or do anything. I don't even know what you want from them. You know, like what are they going to do?
Well, Trump did something that made me think of you that could help black men. Is he wants to take his, was it a $3 billion investment in Harvard and send it over to trade schools?
Yeah, well,
that?
that would help. I'd be all for that. I don't. It's funny. It's also to hear her do that sort of obsession. This thing is like, why are you obsessing on the trans thing? It's 0.1% of whatever. Listen to me, idiots. We're not obsessing over any of your horrible ideas. We recognize them as shit ideas, and then we say we don't want to go along with them.
Yeah.
That's not us obsessing.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you just started walking around with a toilet paper roll on your head, and I kept saying, hey, I don't know what you're doing with the toilet paper on your head, but take it off before we go into the restaurant. That's not me obsessing on it. That's you with a shitty idea that doesn't make sense, that I'm not down with.
Yeah.
And then I'm bringing it up. You can then remove it, and then I won't obsess on it anymore because it'll be gone. So our thing is, we don't want men competing against women. End of subject. You can say it's obsession. You can call it whatever it was. You can explain that it barely happens or it's almost nothing. Fine. You can say whatever you want. The statement remains. I don't care if it's one man competing against women or thousands of men competing against women. We're not down for it. And the reason it seems like we obsess on it is because all this does is lead to your next shitty idea that is destroying our society that we worked hard to build. So that's why we push back on little things sometimes, because they're symbolically a direction that you're going, which is not a direction anyone wants to go in our society. Not sane people, not normal people.